You are coming out of the wilderness. That's the word of the Lord to you in this season of your life. I don't know what you've been going through. I don't know what has been happening around you or even within you in your mind. But the Lord is saying to you, your wilderness season is coming to an end. Type that in the comments if you believe this word from the Lord today. You are not going to stay in that place of wondering and being in a state of confusion, because the Lord says, I'm opening a way. There will be rivers even in the middle of the desert. There will be fruit that God is going to release even from the place that you are. And as you can stay focused on the Lord, if you can stay focused on what God is doing in your life, in this moment of your life, there's no way you can stay in the place that you are. I have one word of encouragement for you today. It may be that there's some things that you've tried to do in the past, and those things did not work. Maybe you tried to start something and that thing did not work as much as it should have done. Maybe there's a struggle, a secret struggle that you've been struggling with, something that you've been wanting to overcome, and it's been real difficult to overcome it. The Lord says, as your wilderness season comes to an end, I am bringing victory into your life. Type the word victory in the comments. Why do I ask you to type these words in the comments? It's just so that we can walk together in agreement and you can affirm and agree and declare and decree in the comment section that God is working in this season on your behalf. I'm going to ask you, if this word is a blessing, to hit that like button. When you hit the like button, our ministry is able to bless many more people with these words that we release every week. I want to take you to the story of the children of Israel who were in a wilderness season, a wilderness situation for decades. They were in that situation for years. Remember, they had got promises from the Lord that God was going to take them out. They had a promise for a promised land, that God had said He was going to take them to the promised land. They were promised a land flowing with milk and honey. And imagine this, with all those promises that they had over their life, God still allowed them to go through a wilderness period, a desert experience. And you may be here with me right now and you're going through a desert experience. The Lord says the desert experience will be your moment of testimony. I'm reminded of the story of Moses. Even Moses himself, before he took the children of Israel out, he had his own desert experience. And guess what? God showed up in the midst of a whole desert. That's when we learn the story of the burning bush. The burning bush happened in a desert. So I prophesy today that God is causing you to experience your burning bush. In this season of your life, God is going to cause you to be able to access His grace, His power like never before. You are going to experience more vivid encounters of the Lord. It may be angels, it may be dreams, it may be some visitations that are going to happen to you. They will be more vivid in this season because God is surely bringing you out. I want to encourage you today. It doesn't matter how long you have been down. It doesn't matter how long you have been laughed at by others, ignored by others. It doesn't matter how long you've been walking alone. It doesn't matter how long you've tried things and they haven't worked for you. In this moment, the Lord says that redemption is coming. Type in the comments, redemption is coming. And just as much and as well as the children of Israel were able to be released from their wilderness season into their promised land, I declare and I decree God is also releasing you into your promised land. There are multiple promises over your life. When I look at you, I see the promise of great blessing, great provision that is over your life. And the Lord says that promise is coming to pass. Type in the comments, it's coming to pass. There is another promise that I see over your life where God says you will be healed and you will be whole. You will walk in the fullness of healing and total wholeness. That promise is yours and it's coming to pass in this season in Jesus' mighty name. As I release this word, I feel stirred by the Spirit of God to encourage you to spend more intimate time with the Lord. This is a moment, this is a season where the Lord says, I want to spend time with you. I want to spend more time with you so you get to know me, to know who I am, to know my character, to know what it is I have for you. And as you stay in the presence of God, God is going to be breaking the shell, one shell at a time, one day at a time. The shells of anxiety are falling off of you. The shells of fear, they are falling off of you. Anything that is limiting you from walking into what God has for you, the Lord says those shells are breaking off even in this season. This message is a wake-up call. This message is a call to action. The Lord is saying to you, you won't stay in the place that you are. Type that in the comments. I'm not staying where I am. You are not staying in the place where you are, because God is sending His power to uplift you. God is sending His grace to get you to that next level in His grace. God is causing you to arise to higher echelons of power. Type higher echelons. There are higher echelons of power, higher echelons of grace that God is releasing you into even in this moment. And the question now is, are you ready to step into what God has for you? Are you ready to walk out of the desert? Are you ready to quit the desert mentality? Are you ready to meet the people that God has for you? It's one thing where God gives you the release, but it's another thing to still stay in a desert mentality where your mind is confused and your mind is really limited to a certain type of thinking. But I pray for you today that you will embrace true freedom and walk into the promised land that God has for you. In the promised land that God has for you, I see opulence. Type the word opulence. In the promised land that I see for you, I see milk and honey. In the promised land that God has for you, I see you walking in the fullness of purpose. In the promised land that God has for you in this season of your life, I see you married. I see you full of joy. I see you happy. I see you totally restored and walking in everything that God has promised over your life. Let me declare that this is your time. This is your season. So arise, shine, and walk in the fullness of the season that God has given you even in this moment. I pray that this word has blessed you. If you are blessed by these videos, hit the like button, share this with a friend, and don't forget to watch all the other videos we have on this channel, and I'll be back to you with another video very soon. Shalom.